Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome
A single
to The Odds Couple.
That's one shot.
Chapter 6, Week 16 of The Odds Couple. We welcome you to the program, the Monday edition of The Odds Couple. We got a busy show for you today. We'll look back at what happened this weekend, including the committee. Oh, the committee. Yeah, we'll talk committee. We'll do that. Look at the playoff. We got an Army-Navy game coming up this weekend as well that we'll look at. And Monday Night Football as the Shield concludes its week tonight with a game in Dallas. We'll get to that. The popular game show that has swept the country. Who Said It? Coming up later in the program. And fish nuggets. So we got a lot of stuff for you here.
Nuggets.
Here on The Odds Couple. I'm Rob Fisher. Lang Whitaker is alongside.
Hey, Rob.
Hello, Lang. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good?
I like the Monday show. It's more intimate.
Yeah.
Some say more cerebral.
Some. Yeah.
Some, yes, some. Although our pre-show conversations probably don't reflect that. However, yeah, I'm doing good. I missed all the NFL games yesterday. My son had a birthday party, and I was on duty. You know, so like, but it was at a place that had televisions, so I got him to put Falcons Vikings on. And so I was kind of running around, and every once in a while I'd stop and check that, you know, we were down 8, down 15. Kirk Cousins throws another pick. All right, great. So didn't really see much of that.
No. Well, that's all right. Hello, CJ Hurt is here. Hello, CJ.
Hello. The only team that the Vikings can not play a close game against are the Atlanta Falcons because Kirk Cousins will throw an inexplicable pick. I was watching that game, and the Falcons went down there and tied it up at 21. It's like, here we go. Another close game for the Vikings. We were talking before the show about a myriad of things, one being the Kansas City Chiefs and the close games they play. It feels like them and the Vikings are always going to find a way to play close games against opponents, no matter who the opponents are. It's like, great, here we go, close game. One of us picked the Falcons to cover. It was like 5.5. I was like, I know it's going to be close.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I wasn't sure why you did that.
And then they just falconed it all up. Like, good grief, man. But they're really good against teams in their division. And their last, how many games they got left? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
I think their
5
last.
left.
I think 4 of their last 5 are against teams in their division. So they'll be right there with a chance to win it when it's all said and done.
Great.
Great.
Do you think there's any chance they bench Cousins this week?
No.
I mean, they went out and used this draft pick on Michael Penix, and we haven't seen him all season. He's 24 years old. Like, are we just gonna like never play the guy? Like, what's
You also went out there this offseason and
spent
gave
$50 million a season on Kirk Cousins? I know.
Gosh. So
And you
like,
also can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to?
Although we've lost now 4 in a row with Kirk Cousins starting, and he had gone like 3 games in a row without a touchdown until this week. I know he had at least one.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm the Falcons, I'm seriously thinking about like, let's just maybe give Penix a shot.
Are we doing the Kirk Cousins conversation? Because I got Kirk Cousins stuff in the workplace Slate Notebook.
All day, every day.
So there it is. Where's the camera? There it is. Kirk Cousins leads the NFL in fourth quarter interceptions with 8. 2 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in the fourth quarter. And that interception, the backbreaker he threw, it was just like Kurt pitted someplace else. The receiver is open enough for where, you can hit him. You don't have to throw it that far inside. Like, continue to push it outside. And that's been the issue with Kirk Cousins, his interceptions, his turnovers, especially in this losing streak. It's been, hey, Kurt, like once or twice a game, you just make these plays that suck all of the win and all of the energy out of the football team. Can you not do that, please? They're paying you all of the money you could ever want. Just don't do that. And I got their schedule pulled up in front of me. So, again, lost to the 4-game losing streak started with the Saints. Lost to the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Vikings. And honestly, there's no shame in losing to those 3 teams right there. It's shame in losing to the Saints. But those 3 teams right there are playing really, really well.
That was the Saints right after they fired their coach, too.
Yeah, that's a bad loss. You go Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. So the Falcons might be completely out of it, Lane. Now that I'm looking at it, so yeah, they're done. Never mind. They're not. They're not going to be able to.
This is the Falcons. Like they'll win some of these games and tease you enough to make you think, oh, they're alive. They'll drag it out as long as they can.
We had all of that hope in Kirk Cousins after the 500-yard game. Remember, like week
against Tampa,
5 or 6 or where the Tampa had come off wins over the Lions, I do believe, earlier that season. So it's like, oh, the NFC South might be a legit battle between two really good teams, and it just hasn't manifested into that. The Falcons have fallen all the way back to reality where Kirk Cousins under the center, and I don't know what the Bucs are doing.
For some reason, he also like another point of contention in Falcon Twitter is that Cousins doesn't seem to target Kyle Pitts.
At all.
And there's video of Kyle Pitts like not running routes and like quitting on routes and stuff like from the last month or so. Last 3 games, two catches for Kyle Pitts for a total of 23 yards.
Wow.
This is a guy who's like a lottery pick. I think 8th overall. They drafted him out of Florida, and he was supposed to be like this transformational tight end. And now
you need one of those. You need a tight end like that.
You need a receiver blocking all that stuff. Yeah. But he's like 6'6", strong guy and everything, and he's just they don't use him. I don't know what's going on. He had 1 catch for 14 yards yesterday.
Wow. All right. We'll have much more NFL coming up in our next segment. Also, we'll talk a lot of college football in our next segment from the weekend and the championship games. But first, do want to address the big topic, the elephant in the room, the committee.
The elephant's not in the room. I don't know if you heard.
It's not in here?
No.
We left the elephant out.
We left the elephant out.
We left the elephant out.
Elephant's out.
Elephant did not qualify.
Elephant didn't get in there.
The elephant
he's not in the room.
He was not welcome in the room. The playoff is set. Lang, did the committee get it right? Did they get it wrong, or do you even care?
I think they got it right. I do. The more I think about it, I get the case for an Alabama team. I mean, if you're looking at it like the eye test, if Alabama played SMU, would they win? Probably. But I don't think you can definitively say that because we saw Alabama lose to Vandy and like all these other teams. We saw Alabama, lost 3 times this year. So I don't think you can say that they definitely screwed it up. And I think, look, 3 SEC teams made it in there. Okay. I don't really know the case you would make that's foolproof for the committee getting this wrong.
Yeah. CJ?
Yeah, they got it as right as you can get it. I think they got the 12 most deserving teams in. And when we get to, because this sport has so many teams, I think that's the way that I look at it, and the best possible way to look at it. You're talking about, I think the 3 teams, really 2 teams with the biggest gripes would be Alabama, Miami. I think Ole Miss could I'll throw them in there. I would say to Ole Miss, don't lose at home to Kentucky, man.
Yep.
Don't do that. Miami didn't even make their conference championship game. So I would say to Miami, hey, while Clemson and Florida State are pressuring the ACC to try and get out of the conference, and it feels like you might be following in their footstep, why don't you pressure your member institutions to play one more conference game so you get a chance to play somebody good in your conference, so that when you lose to the Syracuses of the world, it won't look as bad because you'll have a game against a SMU where you won, or a game against a Clemson where you won. I will also say to Miami, hey, maybe don't play close games against Cal, like teams of that caliber. And then Alabama, you brought it up, Lang, like you lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, teams who deserve to get in. Don't lose to a Vanderbilt program that is what Vanderbilt football has been, and to an Oklahoma program that's down this year. That's 6-6. That was fighting for bowl eligibility. That win got them to bowl eligibility.
They lost 24-3.
Yeah, like you can't do that and want to claim, hey, we deserve to be in. No, you're in the conversation. We can converse about you, but deserving to get in, no, that's not it. And from a conference championship standpoint, if they had moved SMU all the way out of the playoffs after their conference championship game, what the hell would stop an SMU or a Miami next year who gets into the ACC championship game from saying, you know what? We're just not going to play in it. We're already in the playoffs. There's no reason for us to play in this conference championship if you're going to punish us.
To me, that's interesting. Because a year ago,
it was 4 teams.
still,
Okay.
Georgia lost the championship game and went from 1 to 6, and this year SMU loses and falls one spot in the rankings. I think Texas ended up falling one spot, 2 spots for losing to Georgia this year. So I at some point, I guess they decided we're going to litigate this differently than we had in years past.
Well, I think the change is the word that CJ used, deserving. I think in the past, when it was 4, they made it very clear. They were looking for the 4 best teams in the country, period. And if they had to drop somebody 5 spots because they didn't think they were one of the top 4 anymore, they'd drop them 5 spots. They would have dropped SMU probably behind Alabama if that was still the same criteria. But I think the criteria now, it's very clear, is deserving. The automatic seeds, those are deserving. I mean, I remember a year, it wasn't long ago, where Pitt, I think, made the Fiesta Bowl with like a 7-6 record. And it was like, what are we doing? Well, that could happen in the playoff, that you could have a 7-6 team. But if you win, that still puts some clout on winning a conference championship, because you can get that automatic bid into the tournament. And I think now it's the most deserving teams make it, and the ones that aren't, Alabama, sorry, lost to Vanderbilt. You got smoked by Oklahoma. Ole Miss, sorry, you lost to Kentucky. Miami, sorry, you didn't beat a lot of good teams and you didn't get to your conference championship. So, I mean, I think now it's deserving instead of best. And I think that's better. That's a better tournament.
Look at Arizona State. Like, they're the 4th seed in this thing somehow. I mean, they lost to Cincinnati. They lost to Texas Tech this year.
They did a conference champions.
They won a conference
they're
championship.
conference champions. So there's your reward for playing in the conference championship game.
I mean, every other sport, we have divisions, and if you win your division, you're rewarded for it.
Sure.
Why can't it be like that in college football?
It is.
Think about
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is now, yes.
Think about what Arizona State, what happened to them. They went from like 15 last week to from 15 needing to win their conference to even get in, to winning their conference, and their reward for winning their conference is a first round bye.
Yeah.
Right. Like the committee has done a good job of protecting the sanctity of the conference championship game. On the Georgia thing, I will say Georgia last year, I will say Georgia's quarterback is injured. He's probably going to be out for this run. Florida State would like to have a conversation about that, because last year Florida State's quarterback got injured and they were like, no, we can't put them in the tournament. We can't make them one of the 4 best teams. So it's a sword that cuts both ways.
Although I would also argue we saw Florida State's backup last year before Travis got hurt, and that guy wasn't very good. And then when Travis gets hurt, you're like, all right, well, we kind of know what we're getting here. At least Georgia, we hadn't seen this guy play in 3 years, Gunnar Stockton. We haven't known much about him, except that he broke every high school football record in the state of Georgia. He broke Deshaun Watson's rushing records and Trevor Lawrence's passing records for high school players in Georgia. So, like, you figure he's got some pedigree there. I mean, the big thing, though, is, right, like, that Georgia got the bye and got the win. If Arizona State lost that game to Iowa State, like, they go from a 4 seed and a bye to just being out.
They would go from 15 and out. They won a 4 seed
Well,
last
I'm saying,
week.
like, they ended up as the 4 seed, right?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty wide swing there. Like, I mean, if you're either a bye, you get a bye in the first round, which is crazy, or you're not in it at all. Like, and that to me is where it gets a little dicey. You're like, all right, these are deserving teams, but do you really deserve a 4 seed if you weren't going to be in it otherwise? Like, this one game.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think if there's any tweak that could be made, all right, let's seed the 16, and the top 4 seeds get the bye.
Yeah.
So these 12 get in, and then we'll seed these 12.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, or it's 12. I'm sorry, I said 16.
But we're going to 16 because SEC is not going to deal with tolerate Alabama being out.
You're
And I'll
exactly
be honest, the Big Ten really wants to find a way to get Illinois in there. So we're going to 16.
Do you think if Saban was still the coach, Alabama with 3 losses would have gotten in? I was thinking about that today.
Man, I was thinking of that too.
Do you think Alabama would have 3 losses if
I
Saban
know,
was the
but
coach?
just
coach.
as an
That's a good
exercise,
point.
think
I got
about
you.
it. If they have the 3 losses, because Saban's so good at, like, being the politician, he would have spent the last week on every ESPN show talking about it, like why we deserve it, making the case for it. I think they might have gotten in if Saban was still there, but I don't know.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to make a definite answer on that, but wouldn't surprise me.
Who would be left out in that situation?
I mean, I guess SMU.
Probably
is the
SMU.
team that's
Yeah.
left
SMU?
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Indiana. again, it's about you. If SMU gets left out in that situation, why the hell would I ever play in my conference championship game if I'm in?
It would have been a horrible precedent.
Yeah.
For
the one they made last year.
Well, no, the one that they
The
made.
one they made
They
last
sent
year
the
is the
president last
same.
year.
Now that's a
Georgia,
different
But that
lane.
was
Lane,
different.
you know that's
Last
different
year was
lane.
different than this year.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. How about a couple of big beats from the weekend
get 'em.
in some conference championship games? There were some massive beats, including Army winning the American Athletic Conference championship. Army was a 5-point dog in the title game, and they won by 3 touchdowns against Tulane. That was. I've been a believer in Army covering all year, and we've put them on our picks all year. Army's been a great covering team this year, but they haven't played anybody.
Right.
So I was a believer of they haven't played anybody. They're not gonna cover this game against Tulane. We saw what happened against Notre Dame. Tulane's gonna come in and Tulane's gonna beat them. And I don't think it was a Tulane hangover from the Memphis
think a
loss.
little bit
You
was.
think?
Yeah.
Because I thought they were playing pretty hard and playing pretty well. Army was just much better.
I loved it.
Much better team.
Send Bryson Daly to New York. Send him up there.
There's
He
too many
deserves
guys like in the last week that we all decided all of a sudden belong in the
Scatterboo?
Heisman. Yeah, Scatterboo.
I'm
now
not sending
Daly.
Scatterboo up
I'm
there, but
sending Scatterboo there.
Scatterboo is fun.
Scataboo's
He's
the
real
one I'm
fun.
sending.
He's real fun.
Scatterboo was one of the guys in the Wu-Tang Clan, isn't it? Like
Yeah, he was right there next to Meth.
Capadonna and
Yeah.
Ghostface
Yeah.
and Scatterboo.
Scataboo. All right, number 2, the Bobcats roll as a 2.5-point dog in the MAC title game. Ohio beat Miami of Ohio by 5 touchdowns.
Grief.
As a 2.5-point dog, they won by 5 touchdowns.
Was that one of those
Smacked them.
Friday beats? Or was that Saturday?
That was Friday, I believe. No. It was Saturday. It was Saturday, yeah. And I was on the right side of that one, which was fantastic. And number 3, how about the Thundering Herd? They are a covering machine. Covered 11 of their last 12. And as a 4.5-point dog in the Sun Belt Championship, Marshall beat Louisiana by 4 touchdowns. So look for teams like Marshall
Yep.
in the bowl season.
Can you say that with confidence?
No.
Because that portal has opened. People have hopped in it.
That's what I was going to say. I'm sitting here right now looking at the portal because
Is it active today?
It is flying right now. Like there guys.
Wait, is there a
jumping in it.
portal website I can go to?
ESPN is like a tracker. Like
Okay.
you can just
Oh my
like see
gosh.
who's in and who's out. Like it's already like I was just thinking like what they need to do is open the portal and make it immediate eligibility. So like Georgia could go pick up like a wide receiver or a
for the
quarterback.
playoff?
Yeah, like maybe you can go get someone for the playoff or for the postseason and make these bowl games mean something again. Maybe like
I think we should have a mid-season portal, like a trade deadline. kind of thing. Wouldn't that be kind of
that'd
fun?
be kind of fun.
That'll be insane.
Like in week 7?
I saw Dion said that somebody was like, well, what are you going to do if you don't make it into the playoff? You have to play a bowl. Like all your players are going to opt out. He's like, no, it's in the NIL deal. They have to play.
Yeah.
I think that's the next step. All these schools got to put it in the NIL deal. Like if you
gotta play the bowl.
What is taking them so long to do that? I would think surely after what we saw happen to Florida State last year when everybody opted out, you would say, hey, wait a second, the NIL deal. If you're healthy, you need to play in the bowl game. Make that a part of it.
Well, somebody asked me if they're going to take back Carson Beck's Lamborghini now.
He can't drive it with one arm, can he?
I don't know. If it's an automatic, yeah.
Has Stockton woken up yet, by the way, from that hit?
That was a
It was
good
clean.
hit. That was a clean hit. That was a good hit.
The amazing part of that hit was that he held
got
onto
up?
the ball.
Oh,
No,
that he held onto the ball.
Because his leg also like bent the wrong way. Like the whole thing was so disastrous. If he fumbles that, it's over. That's the game.
Oh, that was unbelievable. All right, let's take a break here on the Odds Couple. When we come back, we'll talk more about the weekend in the conference championship games, also the National Football League. Plus, we got fish nuggets when we return. That's all ahead here on the Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get 1 free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. A class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Odds Couple.
That's a single on fish.
Chapter 6, Week 16 of the large program. Don't forget, we're with you each and every Monday and Thursday at 2 o'clock here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media. So you can join us on Thursday as we will preview what's coming up at the weekend ahead, and then each Monday recapping what happened over the weekend. And what happened over the weekend were conference championship games, including the SEC championship, Georgia beating Texas in overtime 22-19. Go Dogs. Lang, it seemed pretty simple, and Sark even said it afterwards, and I thought it in the first half. Texas isn't going to win this game kicking field goals.
You know, the first time these two teams played, Texas ended up with something like 21 carries for 23 yards or something like that. And all the analysis leading up to this game, I saw Desmond Howard talking about it, and other guys are like, well, now they can run the ball. They've really established the run the last few weeks. I'm looking at the box score right now. I think they finished with 28 carries for 31 yards.
Wow.
Against Georgia this time. So Georgia's pretty good at stopping the run, and they're pretty good at figuring things out. And I kind of thought, like, all right, Texas is moving the ball on passes. That's the only way they were getting downfield, or pass interference calls, lobbing it down the side and picking those up, or throwing those little, like, slants where the guy busted loose for a big yardage. But then they would kind of manage to hem the guys in and hold them to field goals, have that guy who looked like the greatest American hero, the Texas kicker, with the blonde afro coming in, kicking the field goals. And he missed a couple, too, left some points on the table. And I figured, like, look, Georgia's kind of always been a second-half offense. Like, maybe they'll figure some stuff out here. And they last play of the first half, Carson Beck goes down. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe they'll still figure some stuff out. And they came out and scored a touchdown on that first drive of the third quarter. When Carson Beck came in overtime, that was one of my most fun memories of the last 3 years of this Georgia team, last 3-4 years, because he's out. The punter's hurt too. And so when on field goals, Stetson Bennett used to be the backup quarterback at Georgia, and he was the field goal holder, and then he became the starter, and they were like, let's just keep him as the holder for these things. So now Carson Beck has been the holder for his whole time there. He goes out. The backup holder turns out to be the punter, who also just blew out his ACL. The third string holder is the guy who they put in, Gunnar Stockton. But then the backup punter, they didn't have a guy. They had a guy come in, and they faked it. You remember the one time they were going to punt in the second half was with the walk-on guy who they had back there. When they get to overtime, Texas gets the field goal. Georgia gets down. They almost kill Gunnar Stockton on that tackle at the 3-yard line. He holds onto the ball somehow. And they're like, and his helmet comes off, and I'm like, well, they don't have a timeout. They got to have somebody come in. I mean, he's clearly concussed. They can't just let him. But I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, just leave him in. Like we just got to snap and hand it off. That's all you got to do. We're on the 2-yard line. Worst case scenario, we get a field goal, get out of this mess. And when they cut to Carson Beck with his arm dangling on his side, and he comes trotting on the field, my son and I like stood up and started cheering. We were like, "Yeah, we got it! Come on, Carson, you got this!" And then he took the handoff one-handed and handed it to Etienne, and he scored, and that was it. So, what a game! It's been such a. I told you guys at the start of the year, Georgia's not going to make it without 2 or 3 losses through this schedule. That was a hell of a schedule. And they made it.
Sankey's fault. Apparently.
It is, yeah. Greg Sankey and his staff at the SEC, as Kirby said.
Yeah.
But they lost twice, but they beat up on Texas a couple times. I mean, I thought this Georgia team, now they get a month off, like that's significant. And hopefully, I don't know who's going to play quarterback. If it's Gunnar Stockton, like maybe they go more kind of option offense, less like pro style. But that was a hell of a game. I don't know. I was stunned they won that game. It's been so many games where you're just like, we got to just win, figure out a way to win. Like that one was one that was like it felt like something.
Yeah.
And it was huge that they were able to get the stops after big plays. Texas got big plays.
Yeah.
Texas got like 3 or 4 big plays, big throws from Quinn Ewers. Like, oh, here we go. Momentum's on Texas's side. Here they go. It's 1st and 10 on the Georgia side of the 50, on the Georgia side of the 40. They're going to get a score out of this, either a field goal or a touchdown, and way too often it was either no points or a field goal. Texas, it felt like, left a lot of opportunities on the field, but that is due in large part to how good Georgia's front is, right? The way that they defended the run was big time.
And I think they had 13 sacks in the 2 games against Texas.
And on the other side, why Kirby just didn't say, all right, we're just running the football. Texas was hitting out there. Texas was popping pads. Really impressed by the physicality of that Texas defense. But Georgia was moving the ball on the ground, especially late, where I felt like, hey, just run the ball, eat as much clock as you can. You're up. Make Texas drive the length of the field on a much shorter clock than what you've got.
Georgia doesn't have receivers.
Yeah.
Like that's like going into the season, apparently, in retrospect, Georgia's big plan at receiver was, let's just hope Arian Smith catches the ball this year. Because he's always been like the fastest guy on the team, but he can't catch. And it's been a thing all season long. Like they were talking about it during the game the other night. They showed replays of him jumping as the ball gets to him and different stuff like that. Like he's had a tough year all year. And I think they kind of felt, I don't know this, but I think they probably felt some sort of loyalty to Carson Beck to be like, look, we got this guy. Let's use him. We're going to throw the ball. We're going to, he's got a great arm. He understands the offense. The only thing that worked was passing it to the running backs and the tight ends because the receivers couldn't catch anything. But then when he got hurt and Stockton's in there and Etienne was healthy, he's missed like the last month.
Etienne looked good.
He looked great. He's been out for like the last month. He had on a bulletproof vest, apparently, Kevlar vest, because he had the broken ribs a couple of weeks ago. I wonder now if like Georgia's like, all right, we found something here. Like, screw this passing thing. I think that's probably what Kirby wanted to do all along. Like, we don't have to worry about Carson Beck. Like, he came back great, but like now we got this kid. We're just going to run the ball control. You guys were early in the game. There was that play where Georgia had a chance to go for it and they punted instead.
Yeah, Rosa was texting
and
about
Rosa
that.
texted us and was like, "Wow, you got to go for it there." And I'm like, "No. That Kirby is so conservative. Like that, he plays ball control, and now you can really play ball control if you get this, young kid in there, a quarterback who can just hand it off and." Try to get you into manageable 3rd down situations and then take a shot every once in a while instead of the other way around.
Yeah, and then you come out with a fake punt.
Fourth quarter.
One fake play. That was it.
The fourth quarter, Georgia went on that 16-play, 9.5-minute drive.
Yeah.
And it was, okay, here we go. And they took the lead on a field goal. Then the next series for Texas 3 and out, punt back to Georgia, and then the next drive for Georgia was the interception. And that's the one where I was like, hey, you just ran it down their throat. Keep running it at them.
Yeah.
Don't leave them any amount of time on the clock. Even if you go 3 and out, one is not a turnover. And thankfully, I forget who for Georgia made the tackle because there was nobody in front of old boy for Texas. But just keep running the football. And if I remember correctly, you're on Texas' side of the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run that football, run that clock, and don't give them the ball back.
They figured out some stuff with Arian Smith, like that fake punt. They ended up giving it to him. And somebody was saying if you go watch all the punts in that game, they ran the same formation. But the guy going in motion on every other punt that game was Malachi Starks. But on that one play, they flipped out Malachi Starks for Arian Smith, had him go in the same motion, and then gave it to him. and he busted it for the first down. Like there's ways you can use him, reverses, things like that, where you don't have to catch the ball, which is a weird thing to say for receivers. But I think they can figure out something.
What did Herm Edwards used to say? 4.2 speed with 5.4 hands or something like that? It's like, oh.
Actually, Terrence Edwards, who used to be a receiver at Georgia, was on Twitter today doing this like a breakdown of it. And it was kind of interesting because he said he doesn't think he has bad hands. He said he thinks he has bad eyes. He said like the hands, sometimes when you see the guys jump and stuff like that, it's because they misread the pass. And he said he thought it more looked like bad eyes than bad hands, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, maybe they should figure that out.
I'm happy that with the seed we got though, and the bracket we got.
Yeah.
Because like being on the other side of that thing, that's not where you want to be. I don't think.
No, it worked out for the Dogs. All right, NFL. I want to ask you, Sam Darnold MVP? Is Sam Darnold? I mean, my goodness,
He has loser DNA.
man. You look
Still?
I think so. I don't know. That's what my Vikings friend said.
I mean, I still don't know if I'd buy the jersey yet. I don't know if I'd put that on if I'm a Vikings fan.
What would it take for you to buy the jersey?
Yeah.
Ask if they're buying the jersey yet?
You got to buy the jersey.
Darnold is 6th in MVP odds right now at plus 4,000. Josh Allen, who had an amazing game yesterday with 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, he is the overwhelming leader for MVP at minus 450. Followed by Saquon Barkley at plus 550. That's not a bad bet at plus 550.
You know the Eagles have never had a MVP?
Really?
Yeah, that's according to my notebook.
Oh. Lamar Jackson third at plus 1,400. Jared Goff plus 1,700. Patrick Mahomes plus 3,300. And then Darnold at plus 4,000. Yeah.
I wouldn't pick Darnold for the MVP though.
No?
I'd take any of those other guys over. He's been fine, but like I mean, he's Sam Darnold.
They're what, 11-2 now?
I texted this to the Rise and Grind, Jessica Benson show group chat, and was like, yo, Sam Darnold is good, all caps. And I think he's way better than fine. Is he Josh Allen? No. Is he Lamar Jackson? No. Saquon? No. No. But he's really, really good. And he is so effective at doing what that team needs him to do. There were a couple of times where he looked dead in the water in that pocket, was able to evade pressure, get outside, and find somebody deep downfield, or even just scramble for like 4 or 5 yards.
But take into account he's playing the Falcons defense, which is last in the NFL in sacks. Like the Falcons defense is not good. Sam Darnold looked great against them.
Sam Darnold has looked great since the 3-interception game against the Jaguars. Yeah. He has looked much improved, and he has looked like more than a serviceable game-managing type of quarterback.
Go Sam Darnold. All right.
Are you going to get a Sam Darnold jersey?
No. All right. Ready for some fish nuggets?
Yeah.
All right. We got some fish nuggets for you. We'll start with Boise State. Ashton Jeanty has rushed for 2,288 yards for an average of 190.7 rushing yards per game. The only 2 FBS players to hit both of those marks in the same season are Marcus Allen in 1981 and Barry Sanders in 1988. Both of them won the Heisman Trophy.
Can I give you some more on Jeanty?
Yeah, please.
Because this notebook is full of them. 100 teams have fewer rushing yards on the season than Jeanty. If Jeanty was his own team, most 50-yard runs on the season. Navy and Notre Dame tie for 7th. Jeanty with 12. Jeanty has 17 runs of 13 or more. That would be 2nd in the nation if he was a team. He has 13 rushes of 40 or more. That's 1st in the nation. If he was a team, if it was just him as a team, told you about the 50, 10 rushes of 60 or more yards. That's 1st if he was a team. 5 rushes of 70 or more yards. 1st if he was a team in and of himself. Like Ashton Jeanty is just a monster on the football field. I look forward to seeing them play who they got, either SMU or Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. That's going to be fun. How you hold him, I'm not really sure. The rest of the boys, forget about them. I want to see somebody. What I really want is that the side of the bracket that Georgia's on.
Yep.
I really want to see Jeanty versus that Georgia defense.
I want to see their O-line versus our D-line. Like that's what, and our linebackers. Like, because I think our defensive linemen can take care of the O-line and let the linebackers get some clean shots on him.
Yeah, and I want to see what happens when you get the clean shots, because it's not like he's just folding.
Yeah.
This is going to be like good on good, great, arguably great on great, and that's going to be a fun matchup to see if we can get to it.
Yeah. All right, Oregon, 13 wins on the season for the Oregon Ducks. Those 13 wins tie for the most in program history. They were 13-2 in 2014. Oregon has won their last 16 games on a Saturday. How about that?
Oregon 7-6 against the spread on the season, though. So
Yeah, that's not good enough.
that's what we.
One of my favorite players in the country, put him in New York, put him there by himself. Cam Skattebo has rushed for 1,568 yards with 506 receiving yards. First FBS player to hit both those marks in the same season since Christian McCaffrey in 2015.
Of course, it's McCaffrey.
You know, they're really smart runners. Really smart. I do believe both of them are coaches' kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was his dad a coach?
High
They're
IQ kids.
high IQ running backs.
Yeah.
They're just so smart.
Not physically gifted.
Not physically
but
gifted.
just smart.
They work harder than everybody else.
That's right.
You know,
First to the gym, last to leave.
Yeah. A gym rat.
one of the guys
Weight room rat.
who I'd really like to date my daughter.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's that type of player.
Right.
Yeah.
This one is amazing. The Las Vegas Raiders yesterday, they recovered their first fumble of the season against the Buccaneers. First fumble recovery of the season against the Bucs yesterday.
That's part of their problem. They can't force turnovers.
You'd think, yeah. And then the New York Jets have been eliminated from the playoffs for the 14th consecutive season. That extends the longest active drought across the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and the WNBA.
They were so excited to get Aaron Rodgers at quarterback because that was the only issue they had.
It was that's right.
I'm not sure that that's correct, that they're eliminated. We might need to do our own independent investigation into this.
Let's see. Let's find out. While I'm looking
Aaron
into
Rodgers likes doing independent investigations.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
no, there's a giant E next to their name.
That means
That
eliminated.
means eliminated.
They're out. All right.
Although I don't know, maybe he doesn't believe in the E. We will take a break here on The Odds Couple. When we come back, it's the game show that is just taking the nation by storm. It's Who Said It? That's next here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Hoop on the Grizzlies home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics presented by Ortho South. Clinics are open to kids ages 6 to 14 and last 60 minutes. The next clinic tips off December 23rd, the same day the Grizzlies play the Clippers. All skill levels are welcome, from beginner to competitive athlete. Sign up now before spots sell out at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Registration includes a Junior Grizzlies t-shirt and 2 tickets to the game that day.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support. When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. You hear that music, you know what time it is. It's time for Who Said It?
Who Said It?
The game show that has swept the nation and has really become a staple of this program.
Of the network.
Of the network, that's true. Of the Grind City Media Network.
That's right.
We've now have a tradition basically of having a bonus clip to start us off with.
Right.
Of Jameis.
Yeah.
Because Fish is a big Jameis fan.
Unwavering faith, man.
Let's just go start this off. Just get us in the mood. Let's listen to Jameis Winston after their loss last week on Monday Night Football.
It's an opportunity to continue to glorify the Lord even through the toughest circumstances. I know I'm better than this. I know I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. Like that's not me. Like a phenomenal game, offense, do some great things, but I messed it up.
Deliver me from evil. Deliver me from
pick sixes.
Satan, deliver me from pick sixes. I like
he
that.
is a treasure.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right. I think he's a treasure in the same way those gold coins that are actually like wrapped in wrappers for chocolate is treasure, like no real value.
He's like pyrite.
Yeah.
Fool's gold.
And worse than that. Because even that can trick you every now and then. Jameis isn't tricking anybody. We know what Jameis is.
What are you talking about? He's like leading the league in passing yards since he's been the starting quarterback. He's been fantastic for the Cleveland Browns. And he's not Deshaun Watson. And he's got unwavering faith. And he's fantastic.
He's not Deshaun Watson in that he didn't get in trouble for all his sexual assault. 1, 2. Remember that stat I threw out about Kirk Cousins leading the league in interceptions in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Jameis Winston hadn't been a starting quarterback for all that long. He's second. He's tied for second with 5 fourth quarter interceptions.
Jameis taketh
5
and
of
Jameis
them.
giveth.
Deliver us from the pick sixes. A pick's all right. Just, we can't have the pick six. That's what killed him. All right. Clip 1. Are we ready for this?
Here we
This
go.
is a short one.
All right.
Jameis put me in the mood for this. Let's
I
go.
have no issue with them celebrating, but this is kind of a JV setup.
Oh, I know this one.
Who said it?
James Franklin said it. It's during the. It's pretty hysterical, actually. During the press conference.
So they lose the Big Ten championship game, and the coach goes back to have his post-game press conference. And I don't know where this game was. Was it in Indianapolis?
It's got to be
Yeah.
Indiana. Where the Colts play? Lucas Oil.
So they had some sort of auxiliary press room set up, and James Franklin goes in to do his post-game press conference, and I guess the Oregon band is on just the other side of the curtain.
Yeah.
And he gets kind of pissed because he goes up there to talk, and you can't hear anything but the Oregon fight song. And the camera work on this is even. We might have to watch this more than once. Go ahead.
Let's go.
This is kind of a JV setup.
Look at my man on the right laughing. Look at my man. Wait. Look at my man to the right. Look at him. Look at that. Look up. Big old grin on his face.
Kind of a JV setup.
Come on, James.
This is kind of a JV setup.
He's so
Look at
mad.
him pop up. Oh, that's my coach right there.
He is so angry about it too. This is kind of a JV setup.
Hey, win a big game, Jimmy.
He could have got up and walked out. That's what Cam Newton did. Remember Cam Newton lost that Super Bowl to the Broncos. They were turning up behind him, yelling about how sorry Cam Newton was at that. Cam just got up and left the press conference.
Yeah.
All right, clip 2. People call. They call my agent. I don't talk to them very often. Very little gets to me. Very little. Like almost nothing gets to me. When it gets to me, it's because it's something I should really consider. Nothing's getting to me right now. Nothing's getting to me. Could that change? I don't know. If some newspaper tripled your salary, you might go. I'm just saying, I don't know. Who said it?
I'm going to go with Summerall from Tulane.
Really? Why there?
Because people are calling.
Okay.
And he says it's not getting to him.
And yeah,
I would think if you're at Tulane and people are calling, all of that is getting to you.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to say it.
Okay, I got you. I feel like Signetti here. I mean,
he just got the big deal. So,
yeah, but he could walk away.
Well,
maybe. I don't know.
And I don't think anybody's asking him right now about other people calling him. Just because he did just sign the huge deal. I'm going Summerall.
I'll go Signetti.
Okay.
All right, let's play it.
People call.
God damn, Rob Fisher.
I don't talk to him very often.
You're lying.
Like, very little gets to me.
That's not
very
true.
little.
He says, I don't talk to them.
Like,
very
almost
often.
nothing gets to me.
That's not true.
Like, I'm not talking. when it gets to me, it's usually because I'm like, this is something that could be
He
really
seems to be like
something I
pretty
need to
honest about
consider.
this though. Like
I'm not. Nothing's getting to me right now. You could say that nothing's getting to me.
Because
could
I'm
that
waiting.
change?
Yeah.
I mean,
could
I don't
change.
know if some
When
newspaper
Mark
tripled your
Stoops
salary,
retires.
you might go. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm very happy.
When
He
Mark
also said-
Stoops is gone from Kentucky.
he said something about
goes.
they've lost their last 2 games. 'Cause they lost to Memphis in the championship game, and he's like, he goes, other than I know people probably want me fired because we lost 2 games, but I don't know. I thought there's a long version of that clip. It's like 3 minutes long where he's like pretty open and he's like, look, if somebody triples your salary, you might go. I don't know.
Are people clamoring for Tulane football coaches to be fired? I don't
No.
imagine that
But
being
I've seen
the
him
case.
thrown around as like a UNC candidate and some other places too.
Bill Belichick. Come on.
Yeah.
Bill might be trying to get the whole family on. Bill
Yeah.
might be like, "Hey, I'm coming. That
But
means
his
my
son's
son
already
will
got
be
a job.
my son will be coaching waiting, and my daughter's gonna come through and coach the lacrosse team when y'all's coach decides
And
to
my
separate. and
girlfriend
retire.
could enroll.
Hey, turn up.
She could be a cheerleader.
She's got eligibility left.
She might. All right, clip 3. When you're climbing the ladder of success in life, sometimes they forget to tell you to stop when you're happy. That being said, there was a lot of pressure. The biggest thing for me is my dad wasn't well. I got to spend time with him. You have good times and bad times everywhere. And in this game, sometimes you get it down and sometimes you don't. We did the right things here and pushed the right buttons and got it done. Who said it? When you're climbing the ladder of success in life, sometimes they forget to tell you to stop when you're happy.
Hey, listen, that is a sentence that I've committed to memory and will be sharing with younger people. Like, that's wisdom right there.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep going because you leave this spot when you're really, really happy. You can be miserable real quick. Who is that insightful, though, as a coach?
Dabo.
Ain't no way in hell is Dabo.
You don't think so?
No.
He's not. He doesn't have that IQ.
My man didn't mention Jesus not once. Like, Dabo, that's Dabo's thing. He's climbing he's on that Jameis nonsense. He's climbing the ladder to get to Jesus.
That's true.
Even though the last time we tried to climb a ladder to get up to the heavens, and how we ended up with different languages, right? God struck us down. Was that the Tower of Babel? Yeah, God struck
Zacchaeus
us
tried
down.
to climb the tree to see the parade, and he couldn't. He was too little. But yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Zacchaeus in the Bible tried to climb the tree.
I'm unfamiliar with the story of Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus, yeah.
Okay. Who is this, though? Oh, my goodness. I've got nothing, Rob.
All right.
I'm going to roll with you on whatever you got to say.
All right, I'll say Dabo.
All right, let's play it.
When you're climbing the ladder of
Oh,
success in
Scott.
life,
I should have known it was Scott Frost coming back to UCF.
That is a great
that
line.
being said,
That's like a bar,
there's a lot
that
of
first line.
pressure, and,
Yeah.
and the biggest thing for me is my dad wasn't doing well, and I got to spend time with him. My
looks
wife
like
and I
the,
were lucky
the
enough
mean
to have
kid in A
2
Christmas
daughters
Story.
born.
He does.
That's the place I win.
Yes.
You have good times and bad
It's
times
not Scott,
everywhere,
it's
and
Scott.
this game,
Farkas.
sometimes
Yeah.
you get it done and sometimes you don't. We did the right things here
How
and
about
pushed the right
Scott
buttons
Frost?
and got it done.
Good for him.
Yeah.
They got it done.
Had one good year at UCF, and now
Now he's
He had a
back.
couple of good years at UCF, didn't he? He had one national championship season
he
at
won a
UCF.
national championship, and then
Yes.
didn't do really much at
He's back.
Nebraska.
I don't know why more.
And now he's back in the Big 12 too.
I don't know why more of these programs don't do that. Where it is okay, very clearly we are self-aware enough to know
Like
that
Memphis with Norvell.
this bigger school
Fuente.
came. This bigger school came and got you. We know we couldn't compete with that. We're happy for you, but it didn't work there. Come back where it
I'm
worked.
with you. I
Come
agree
back
100%.
here.
100% agree with that. Because, Memphis has a coach, and they're not firing their coach. But if down the line that were to happen,
But he's getting thrown around as someone who could go to other places. I've seen him getting mentioned.
I'd have no problem with if Norvell got fired to reach out to him, or
no.
Justin Fuente to reach out to him. Justin Fuente, I heard on a radio interview just talking about how much he learned from making that move to Virginia Tech. And he said most importantly was how you treat the media. and he talked about Memphis being home and felt more like home, and he missed it. So, yeah, I'd reach out to him too if that were to be the case.
All right. Clip 4, this is part of a longer clip, but the part we're going to talk about, he says, it's a bunch of great young men that come to school here, and they buy into who we are and what we do. It's not just winning, it's how you win. 2 years in a row, we've got the highest graduation rate in America. It's a program that we try to serve their heart and not their talent. This is our 14th year in a row with a postseason win. Nobody's done anything like that in college football. But all we hear is how bad we are and how terrible we are and how stupid I am. And you know what? We just keep winning.
Is that Kirby?
I don't think so. I thought early in the quote it could be Kirby. And if Lang would have said it's a program that we try to serve their hearts, I think I would have guessed Kirby. But the whole thing about how terrible we are and how stupid I am, I want to say Kenny Dillingham.
I'll change my Kirby guess. I'll say Lanning.
All right,
play it.
It's just God's plan.
Oh,
you didn't put that one.
You didn't pick God's
a bunch of great young men.
We would have known instantly it was
come to
Dabo.
Clemson,
That's why I took it
and
out.
they buy in.
I was looking for
to
God in that quote.
Who we are and what we do. It's not just winning; it's how you win.
Lang
It's
is a
2 years in a row.
trickster.
We got the highest graduation rate in America.
Who cares?
You know,
we go to college to
it's
play
a
football,
program
not
that
play
we,
school.
we try to serve their heart,
Shout
not
out
their talent.
Cardell.
We're trying to serve their heart, not their talent.
And I'm just,
I did
we had a
like that line about
14th.
how
This is our
stupid I am.
14th year in a row with a postseason win. Nobody ever has done anything like that in college football.
No.
But all we hear is how bad we are and how terrible we are and how stupid I am and how, whatever. And it's just, we just keep winning.
Congrats, Dabo.
Good for you, Dabo.
Jesus didn't go to Calvary for Dabo to be up there talking like that. That was not the plan.
Why did God reward Clemson and punish the Methodists? Anyway.
I mean, maybe they aren't as close to Jesus as Dabo is.
Maybe Baptist is the true.
Is Dabo Baptist?
Probably.
Oh,
South Carolina. I grew up in Georgia. I know what it's like. All right, clip 5. This is a back and forth. The reporter says, "What do you think the offense needs to improve upon?" The player says, "Passing." The reporter says, "Passing." Player nods. Reporter, "How hard is it to get into a rhythm when you're only throwing the ball 20 times?" Player, "Incredibly tough." "You threw your helmet into the bench on the sideline. What prompted that reaction?" The player, 3 and out.
I got it. Oh, boy.
I want to say I saw this, but I can't remember.
What's Penn State's quarterback name? Why am I blanking on
I
his
think it's
name?
NFL, CJ.
Aller. You think it's NFL?
I do.
NFL, okay.
Fish is using his phone. This is not fair. It's cheating.
No,
Wait,
I'm
this
just
can't be
looking at a game.
This isn't whatchamacallit, is it? This isn't Williams.
Which Williams?
Caleb.
No.
Okay.
It's a receiver. So who's a quarterback that just is terrible?
Kirk Cousins.
Caleb Williams.
Kirk Cousins. Maybe it's Kyle Pitts. Jeez. Well, I can't remember. CD Lamb. I'll say CD Lamb. But they've won 2 games in a row, so he's not angry anymore.
How about this, though? This is a team that won yesterday.
A team that won.
Really? And only threw the ball 20 times.
It's not Mac Jones. He would be grateful.
I think I stumped you guys.
Yeah, I think you
All right,
did.
let's play it, Jacob.
What are some things you think they need that the offense needs to
Oh,
improve? Passing.
Hey, Jay, I know everybody wants to get in a rhythm. And Devontae was acknowledging that. Receivers, just like running backs, want to get in a rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly tough. It seemed like there was a moment on the sideline. What prompted that reaction?
3 and out.
what the hell are they playing in that locker room?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is after a win.
That's after
AJ?
a win. That's kind of wild. At first, I thought like maybe he was trolling him, like he was joking, because he kind of laughs in the middle of it. And then I went and looked at the replies to that, and it's all like, "Oh boy, here we go again." So I don't think he was trolling. I think he was serious.
Oh no.
Because I also saw Jalen Hurts trending a lot yesterday on social media because I don't think he had a great game. But they won. They beat the
did win.
Panthers.
They won, but the
They didn't
Panthers
cover.
The Panthers look really,
Leggett
really
dropped
good.
a touchdown right
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah. All right, last one. We're going basketball, guys.
Oh, okay.
We've been court stormed on a lot. Usually I'm the one who calls the timeout, tells the guys to stay on the sideline, but that was a class move by the other coach because that was a real court storming. They played great today, but that court storming was better than they played. Who said it?
I got it, Rob.
Do you?
It's Bill Self.
Bill Self?
Bill
He got
Self.
court stormed?
Missouri.
Oh,
Missouri
okay.
beat them. What a waste for the Memphis Tigers. You get Missouri to do that. That win looks better, and then you go out there and lay a giant-ass egg against Arkansas State. But, yeah, Cleveland State's old coach. Why am I blanking on his name?
Mouse Davis?
No. I forget, but he's coaching at Missouri now.
Gates.
And Dennis Gates, thank you. And he sensed that a court storming was going to happen. He called a late timeout so that Kansas could get their guys off of the court. And then the whistle blew. They threw the ball in. Time ran out. People stormed the court. Kansas was able to get everybody off the court without incident.
Classy Missouri.
Let's watch
How about that?
let's watch the press conference clip.
Pat, we've been court stormed on a lot. Usually, I'm the one that calls the timeout and just tells the guy to stay on the
Funny,
sidelines.
he's
but
had the same
that was a
hair
classy
for
move by
a long
Dennis.
time.
I mean, let's just call it like it is. That was a class move, and because somebody could have got hurt, because that was a real court storming. I mean, Mizzou played great today, but that court storming may have been even better than Mizzou played. That was a big time court storm.
He was so enthusiastic about the court storming.
I was glad he did that because that gave us a chance.
That made me want to go look up the court storming. So I sent Jacob footage of the court storming. It's a real court
It's a
storming.
real court
Yeah.
storming.
Watch this.
Here we go.
There it is.
Uh-oh.
Now they're all on there. Oh, yeah. The rapidity at which they get onto the court from the two baselines.
So is he? I don't understand his point though. He's saying you call a timeout and tell the guys
So
to
the
get
players
on the
can go
bench
or stand by the bench.
just to get near the
So
exit.
they can leave, yeah.
Yeah.
So they aren't on the court they aren't on the court trying to walk off as all of those people are running
So you
onto
wouldn't
the
just
court.
call a timeout with like a minute, like a second left, just say get off the court.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah, all right.
Dennis Gates called that timeout so that Kansas could get their players where they wanted them to be.
Yeah. All right.
So
That's this week's Who Said It.
you avoid bumping into somebody or somebody run up to you. Yeah, you mother bleeper, and
Yeah.
then player
Well,
socks them in the jaw. And now we got a situation.
Even being in the SEC, there's no team in the country that Mizzou would rather beat in basketball than Kansas.
I liked
team.
how like circumspect Self was about it. He seemed to enjoy it as much as
Because he didn't have to talk about the loss. He was talking about something else.
He's like, what a great course storming, man.
Change the topic on everybody.
All right, that's it. That's this week's Who Said It.
All right, let's take a break here on The Odds Couple. We'll come back and we'll look ahead, sneak peek at what's coming up this weekend, including Army, Navy, plus we got Monday Night Football and free picks.
Free picks.
It's all ahead here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get one free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Odds Couple Monday edition of the Large Program. Don't forget, we're with you on Thursday as well from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock as we preview the weekend coming up. On Mondays, recapping what's happening, and also we'll take a sneak peek at what's coming up this weekend, including one college football game this weekend. It's Army against Navy. Army comes in as a 5.5-point favorite against Navy. The total is at 40.5. 16 of the last 18 meetings between Army and Navy have gone under the total. Navy is 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. Army 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games. But Army's covered 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two. I thought earlier in the season Navy was a better team.
No, they're not.
But I don't think they are either.
Army's better. I'm all in on Army. It's 6.5 now. So it's already going up a point. But I think Army is way better. And they've played more consistently all season long, too. And I know they had their quarterback hurt, but I also just got a text back from my Vikings friend.
Right.
And I said, now will you buy a Darnold jersey? He said, still no, I've seen this movie before.
Isn't that what he said 8 weeks ago?
I said, he's 11-2, and he hasn't responded. So we'll see.
CJ, Army, Navy. Pick it or park it?
I'd pick it, and I'd lean the Navy way, especially if Bryson Daly is able to go out there and play 29 rushing touchdowns. It's tied for first with Ashton Genty in rushing touchdowns on the season. They're just, every now and then we get one of these types of teams from one of the service academies, particularly Army or Navy, where they are just physical and they've got the right person at the quarterback position. It reminds me of when Navy had Keenan Reynolds, and I think he finished like 6th or 7th in the Heisman Trophy voting that year. But that offense just worked with him back there for Navy, and this Army offense works with Daly back there.
Yeah, I like Army too. I was impressed with what they did against Tulane. I watched that game the other night, and I thought it would go the other way. Tulane was favored by 5.5, and it didn't. And again, I thought Tulane played pretty hard. I didn't know if there was much of a hangover, but Army just played really well and dominated that game from start to finish. I think I like Army minus the 5.5, but. Is this different than years past? The total's 40.5, and 16 of the last 18 have gone under the total. This is two different teams than what we've seen from the academies in the past, right?
I'll believe it when I see it. I'm gonna hit that underdog.
I'll still take the under, and I'll take Army in the under, I think. Yeah.
All right. All right, and then we got the playoff games coming up, not this week, but let's take a look at the playoff lines. It's amazing when you look at these first-round games, not one game is under a touchdown. Notre Dame, 7.5 against Indiana. That one's next Friday. And then you have Texas, 11 against Clemson. Tennessee, a 7.5-point dog against Ohio State. And Penn State, 8.5-point favorite against SMU. Any of those surprise off the bat?
The Ohio State-Tennessee one is surprising to me. I feel like those teams are a bit closer than 7.5, especially with Tennessee's ability to run the ball and Ohio State's, I don't want to say inability to stop it, but the last time I saw Ohio State, they were getting pushed around by a Michigan team that isn't near as dynamic on the outside or in the passing game as what Tennessee is. We talked about this pre-show, Rob. We jumped down James Franklin's throat for not being able to win a big game. Here is a big game, and you're telling me it's 8.5? So that one kind of surprises me also. Of the 4 lines, those 2 are the ones specifically.
I wasn't that surprised by any of them. Honestly, like I hope they're not all blowouts like that. But like looking at those, like it's kind of like I don't think SMU's going to be able to hang with the Penn State. I don't think Tennessee's that good compared to Ohio State. Like I think it's pretty clear like the better teams are favored. I'm surprised they're as broad as they are though.
So much about the Big Ten's comeback in years past to the SEC being like, we're the best football conference in the nation is
it just means more.
You guys don't play up here at all. You certainly don't want to come up here north of the Mason-Dixon line after the month of October or November. One of the fun things about this year's playoffs is Tennessee's got to go to Columbus now, right? So we're going to see what one of these SEC teams do.
Yeah, we don't really consider Tennessee an SEC team, though.
All of a sudden we don't consider them SEC. Either way it goes, it's going to be fun to see. I think that it's also going to be fun to see. Indiana and Notre Dame did not play this year. I feel like that's a game that Notre Dame should be playing every year, but they didn't play. This is a rivalry game being played in the playoffs, and that's going to be really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, it'll be cool. We got Monday Night Football wrapping up the week in the Shield tonight. We got Cincinnati Bengals 5.5-point favorite in Dallas against the Cowboys. The total at 49.5. A couple of terrible numbers for these two teams. Dallas 3-13 against the spread at home on Monday Night Football. Yeah. Cincinnati's 2-12 straight up on the road on Monday Night Football. Dallas has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings, and 6 of the last 7 meetings have gone under the total. A couple of bad teams. This is the Simpsons game, though, right?
Yeah, this is the Simpsons game. Yeah.
So is that on the main broadcast, or is that it's a separate?
It'll be a separate.
It's on
alternative.
Disney Plus or something.
Something like that. Yeah. I'll try and figure it out.
Who's eliminated? They're both eliminated.
Are they both? They should be. No, the Bengals are still eligible. They're still in it for a wild card spot.
Well, maybe they'll play.
Yeah, I mean, you got Joe Burrow, you got Jamar Chase, you got dudes out there, T. Higgins, you got dudes out there who want to go out and compete. Joe Burrow leads the NFL in fourth quarter, or second in the NFL in fourth quarter touchdowns behind Lamar Jackson with 9. And Joe Burrow has played really, really well this year. It's not his fault that everything else around him, with the exception of Jamar Chase, is not very good, which is really, really surprising for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys tonight.
What's the line again?
Plus 5.5.
I'll take the Bengals.
Okay.
I'll take the Cowboys as well.
Yeah.
Bengals will win straight up, though, but 5.5. It's bad. Bad teams are playing.
All right. I don't know if you all have any free picks. I have a couple free picks.
Hit them with us.
I got a parlay. I'm doing a parlay of T. Higgins 50 receiving yards and Joe Burrow over a touchdown and a half.
All right.
Okay.
That's one.
Somebody pointed out West Virginia opened at -3.5, and it's now Memphis -2.
It's Memphis -2. Yeah. Also, Charleston Southern +2 against South Carolina State tonight.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one right
Charleston
there.
Southern +2 at South Carolina State tonight. And then on the ice tonight, we got the Rangers -1.5 goals against the Blackhawks. So the Rangers -1.5 against the Blackhawks. Rangers are a big favorite against Chicago tonight. We'll take the Rangers minus the 1.5 goals. So there you go. Some free picks for you on this Monday afternoon.
The Simpsons broadcast will be on ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, or NFL Plus. I didn't know the NFL had a plus.
I didn't either.
So it'll be on one of those.
All right, everybody good? We good?
I hope it's better than last year's Toy Story broadcast, because that was such a disaster. And I thought it would be fun. It was the Falcons.
Are you going to watch the Simpsons broadcast?
Oh yeah, I'll watch it.
And you'll watch the Simpsons broadcast,
absolutely.
right?
Like, I mean,
I enjoyed the Toy Story one.
Yeah, but remember they had to there was 5 minutes where it didn't work, and then
they were just stuck in one spot. That's what I loved about it.
There were so many errors. Hopefully maybe we're better now. Can we put one of the Elon's AI supercomputer on this thing or something? Somehow we got to get this thing to work one of these years.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be tonight. Who knows? It's such a good game that maybe tonight it'll be the night. All right, that's going to do it for us here on The Odds Couple. Thanks for joining us here on this Monday afternoon. For CJ, for Lang, I'm Fish. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy the week. We'll be back with you again on Thursday here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.